Hi, I'm Miriam Burr, and today I want to talk to you about an article that I read called From Making Cabinets to Making Millions. And it's a story, or the story, of Harrison Ford. I found this article in a leadership magazine called Leadership Wired by John C. Maxwell, who's really known for just that topic, leadership. And the newsletter is just stellar, and I also want to recommend that newsletter. But first off, the story about Harrison Ford just relates so much to people who have home-based businesses, even small businesses. And Harrison Ford first started off looking for love and he wanted to look for love by way of taking classes. He thought that he would be able to meet girls. What ended up happening was he fell in love not so much with girls but acting, and that's where his passion, it kind of evolved from taking those classes. And the story goes that this man took these courses, and eventually his passion grew so much that he decided to move to Hollywood, where everyone, that's where they end up going to, especially if they want to become big stars. And it took him 5 to 6 years of struggle, taking minor roles, and in the interim he got married and needed to support his family. So he decided to take up another skill so that he could support his family, and he did so by taking up carpentry, which proved to be really very fruitful for him because he met a lot of people. He was the stagehand for The Doors. He met George Lucas, famous directors, Francis Coppola, and as a result, by way of those relationships, he was able to get certain roles, which sparked a huge stardom in his repertoire of movies. From American Graffiti, The Conversation, to Star Wars movies. The point of this is not just to tell you about Harrison Ford, even though that's kind of interesting, but just the mere fact that people go through all the stuff to really work at their passion. There are some people who will do everything to ensure that they can live their passion. It doesn't matter if they have to do other things on the side, but as long as they can still work on their passion. And when I read this article, I started thinking about, I know a few people who have gotten involved in home businesses and decided that that was their passion, and they wanted to make it and wanted to make it a success, and so decided that they were going to leave their job. And as a result, what ended up happening is that, especially with these people, that they found that it's really tough. It's not rags to riches. It's or rather overnight success. You really have to work hard at this, and you really you may even fall on your face, but the people do become successful. It's just like everything. It takes time, it takes sacrifice, it takes struggle, but oftentimes you can reap the rewards if you persevere. And sometimes people don't realize that it can take such a long time, and it can take a toll on a lot of people. And the main thing about the article was that there are people out there who think that they're going to become successful overnight and leave their jobs, and in turn put their families in a burden of sorts. And the article talks about 3 main things that if you are really prepared to be a success and do whatever it takes. First off, keep growing in your skill set, okay? Because you never know when your opportunity is going to come. And that's what happened with Harrison Ford. He created this niche of sorts. You know, he was in carpentry and had jobs that gave him opportunities and met other people. Keep honing your people skills, because that's also going to help you in the long run. It's going to give you great opportunities. You know, if you're able to kind of attract people to your lives in that passionate field that you're in. And another thing is just to be open to new skill sets, because you never know what you will need to do to ensure that your passion does come into fruition. You may have to take a second job. You may have to take a part-time job. And that's what Harrison Ford did. And it was tough. I mean, 5 to 6 years where the man struggled. But look where he's at now. And the same goes for a lot of home businesses and small businesses where people initially struggle. And they probably lost money, and they probably fell on their face, but they got up, dusted their knees, dusted their face, and just started again. But they had plan B in a way. And that's the thing that I wanted to talk about, is just that whole idea of what is your focus? What is your passion, and how are you going to ensure that you get to where you want to be? I want to also kind of give you the resource. The Leadership Wired newsletter has so much information. The articles are superb. You learn a lot. And you can find it at giantimpact.com. And with that, I want to tell you, go read up on these stories and the newsletters, and head over to my site, miriambird.com. And I will see you in my next video. Ciao.